So they're doing
11 and 18 aren't playing at all on our team, like I just said. So Chris Israel, and I'll bring that up in the injuries.
okay.
So we're doing starting lineups. I'm really confused on what's happening right now.
I don't think they're going to be doing starting lineups if they haven't lined up today.
I don't either, because I'm
So, hey, whenever they cue us, we're going to have to talk about, we're just going to go with this intro.
Yeah, because we're going to have to bring in the starting lineups in natural. If we're behind, if we have to. Good evening. I'm Kylie Gorby, and I'm here with Abby Witt tonight. We are here to cover the game of the Asbury Eagles as they take on the Indiana Purdue University Mastodons.
Indiana Purdue University is coming to us from Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is going to be a very different matchup for Asbury tonight. Indiana Purdue University is a Division I school, and this is the very first meeting between the two schools. I'm really excited to see how the game turns out tonight. Asbury is coming off of a loss from St. Catherine College, and Indiana Purdue University is coming off a 2-game losing streak. So I'm also anxious to see who comes out with the win tonight, because that win is going to be definite for each team.
I agree. I'm very anxious. Asbury came off a loss Tuesday night against St. Catherine. They lost 3-0. I know the coach was very disappointed with this performance. He feels like the upperclassmen are not meeting his expectations, so we're going to see a very unique starting lineup tonight.
I actually got to speak with junior Jesse Peterson earlier today, just kind of asked him what his expectations were for tonight's game, and he told me his expectations, along with the team's expectations, haven't really changed. All that they want to do tonight is get a win. They're coming for nothing less than a win. So Asbury is very determined. They had a great practice last night. They were able to clear their head from the loss, and they're ready to play.
I hope they come out ready to play tonight. This is a team of veterans, so we see high expectations. We have 9 seniors. Several of them will not be playing tonight due to injuries. Craig Moberly, who started this season and most of last season, is not going to be playing tonight. He is out with a groin injury. Chris Israel, who has also led the team in assists this year with 3, is also going to be out due to an ankle injury. So I'm hoping that they get healed up soon and we can get out there for our veteran team.
I feel like tonight the freshmen and the sophomores, they're going to be dominant in tonight's game. Since the seniors, there are so many, and we rely on leadership in sports. They're going to have to step it up, and I'm excited to see what they do.
Hoping to see some great leadership from our captains, Stephen Mitchell and Garrett Davis tonight. So let's see how the game goes.
Speaking of injuries, we've actually had a new prevention yoga with Asbury. They have started yoga training. Is it 3 days a week?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And what it's done, it's helped loosen the strains with the athletes. They're coming out stronger, way more flexible also, and they're loving it.
I know team manager Micah Marn said that they have had less injuries this year than they've ever seen before. So
that's
hope
always
to keep
good.
that up. And we'll be with you in starting lineups.
Into the front. They have to stay.
Good evening and welcome to the campus of Asbury University in beautiful Wilmore, Kentucky. For tonight's soccer match between the Indiana-Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons and your Asbury University Eagles. Asbury welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's contest. As a member of the NAIA and the KIAC, we are committed to a true spirit of competition. As champions of character, embracing 5 core values: respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you as participants, officials, and spectators to abide by these values by creating a positive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. Please enjoy today's contest. At this time, we ask you to please stand for the invocation and the playing of our national anthem. Today's invocation will be given by Caleb Young.
Dear Lord, I just want to thank you for this day and this opportunity to come play the game that we all love. I ask you to keep all the competitors safe, and amen.
Good evening. We are back with you tonight, and we are about to provide the starting lineups. Starting for Indiana Purdue University, number 3, Jacob Murphy. Scott Williams. Number 6, Alex Kemp. Number 7, Britt Watts. Number 9, Jose Rodriguez. Number 10, Mike Inghuffer. Number 12, Bill Whitcomb. Number 14, Corey Tom. Number 17, Andy O'Donohue. Number 20, Austin West. And for goal, number 1, Cody Schweitzer.
Up next for your Asbury Eagles, we have starting number 5, freshman out of Simpsonville, Kentucky, Matt Young. Next up for the Eagles, number 8, Stephen Mitchell. Number 9, Austin O'Brien. Number 13, Garrett Davis, and a freshman, number 16, Grafton Hamilton. Number 17, another freshman, Ryan Metcalf. Number 20, Billy Congleton. Number 25, Landon Brown. Number 26, John Moran. Number 28, Jared Rocco.
A sophomore from Crittenden, Kentucky, number 26, John Moran. A sophomore from Wilmore, Kentucky, number 28, Jordo Rocco.
And rounding out the Eagles, number 1, John Burns.
Number 1, John Burns.
The Eagles are coached by Ben Andrews tonight. He's in his 6th season. We're hoping to see a good game from the Eagles tonight. I know that Garrett Davis was named KIAC Player of the Week again last week for the second time this season. He is a senior out of Versailles, Kentucky, and is one of our captains on the team, so he's providing a lot of leadership.
Garrett's one that Asbury definitely looks for leadership on and off the field. I remember last game on Tuesday and the game on Friday, Garrett had some solid minutes. He had some solid plays, and he was able to come through with the Eagles. Garrett's a great playmaker on the field, and I think that really works to the advantage of the Eagles.
I believe he is definitely exceeding expectations so far this season. I know we have a very interesting starting lineup tonight for the Eagles. The Eagles have 9 seniors, and tonight we have a very young lineup starting. I know that Coach Andrews has not been pleased with the play by the upperclassmen, so he's challenging them here. He's definitely showing them they do have some competition.
He really is. Last Friday night, freshman Grafton Hamilton had very solid minutes for the Eagles, and I'm really anxious to see how Grafton plays tonight. But I feel like he's going to be a very dominant factor in tonight's game.
Grafton brings a lot of height to the lineup along with freshman Ryan Metcalf. They're very similar players. I feel like they feed well off of each other.
Yeah, they play very well together. It's like they're running in sync all down the field.
As you can see, we are preparing for kickoff. Garrett Davis and Billy Congleton are at midfield.
Billy Congleton is another player. He always has a solid game. I don't think I've ever seen Billy play down. He's always strong. He's always aggressive. And I know I talked to Billy earlier today before the game started, and he's very much ready to play.
Stephen Mitchell is advancing the ball up the field. Stephen Mitchell kicks it over to John Moran. John Moran sends the ball towards midfield. Indiana Purdue University attacking early. Garrett Davis with the ball. Landon Brown attacking hard. Freshman Matt Young kicks it over to Garrett Davis again. Ball is sent over to Billy Congleton. And the ball is dropped over towards the box and headed by Indiana Purdue University.
I'm really anxious to see the type of pressure that Indiana Purdue University puts on Asbury tonight. Keeping in mind they are a Division I school, they play a lot harder than Asbury, and their team has a lot of height on them. Their goalie, actually, Raphael, he stands at 6 feet 7 inches. So for Asbury to actually get some balls in the goal tonight, they're going to have to be very accurate with their shots.
Indiana Purdue University is working the ball up the field quite swiftly there. Stephen Mitchell sends it across midfield. And the ball is kicked back to the goalie.
You can tell that Indiana, they're coming off soft right now. I feel like they're going to really save more of the pressure for the game throughout this end of the second and first half.
This could be a huge win for the Eagles, knowing that Indiana Purdue University is a Division I school. This could really help in their standings and their rankings. As many of you may know, Asbury University is a NAIA school, so they're playing several levels up here.
I don't know if you just saw, but sophomore John Moran, he had a very solid moment in the game. John is so tough when he plays. He's so tough. And you can tell he always plays with intensity. You can just see that in his eyes.
He's definitely the workhorse of the team.
He really is. And for him to be so young, and last season he didn't have that much playing time coming into this season, and he's playing with a whole lot of confidence this year.
He is. Asbury possesses the ball. Be a corner kick by Billy Congleton.
Not surprising that we see Billy taking the corner kick for Asbury.
The ball is sent into the box and headed by Indiana Purdue. Indiana Purdue takes possession and is intercepted by Asbury. Matt Young with the ball advances it over to Ryan. Jared Rocco sends the ball over to Grafton. And Indiana Purdue University intercepts the ball. Ball's out of bounds, Asbury possession. The ball is being thrown in by Austin O'Brien, it appears. Jared Rocco is throwing the ball in. Jared Rocco sends the ball down the field over to Billy Congleton. Billy Congleton was really working hard there to hold off that player.
Billy Congleton's always working hard to hold off a player. I love the toughness he always shows. One thing that's really surprising is in the game against St. Catherine University on Tuesday, Asbury, their 3 shots that cost them the game, it was a misplayed ball, an own goal by John Burns, and a free kick bullet after a foul just outside of the box. So just the way that those 3 goals came about, I'm really surprised at the mental awareness that they have right now for the game.
Has to be very frustrating for head coach Ben Andrews.
Oh yeah, especially the letdown from, I know John took that missed shot really hard on himself. He felt like it was his own fault for that, but you can tell right now he's ready. He's ready for the ball.
Well, John Burns has definitely been a huge asset to this team this season already. He was named KIAC Defensive Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, and he has had several saves for the Asbury Eagles.
He sure has.
What's surprising is against St. Catherine, Asbury actually had more shots on goal.
Really?
Just couldn't get them to fall. Indiana Purdue University is attacking. They're near the box, and Stephen Mitchell is applying a lot of pressure. Ball is sent up the field. Asbury with possession over to Landon. Matt Young. Indiana Purdue University and Asbury Eagles.
You sure can.
Indiana Purdue crosses the ball. They're attacking strong up on the side. Nice footwork there. Sent into the box. And John Burns sweeps up the ball.
John Burns. There's some offensive players that Asbury really needs to watch out for in tonight's game. One is number 7, Britt Watts. He came to Indiana Purdue University from his old school, holding the record with 59 goals and 51 assists. So he's going to be a key offensive player for Indiana Purdue University in tonight's game.
Definitely will be looking to attack. I'm pretty impressed, though. The Eagles do not seem to be scared by any means.
Yeah, they're very
coming
calm.
out attacking.
You can see that on their faces. I feel like they're just really focused on tonight's game.
Definitely exciting opportunity it lays in front of them.
Very true.
Indiana Purdue University is pushing the ball up the field.
That was the Britt Watts I was talking about earlier. They're one of their key offensive players, and he's a freshman. Can you believe that?
Takes a lot of talent to be a freshman and start at the Division I level.
And play as well as he has so far this season for the Matadors.
Indiana Purdue University has seemed to possess the ball a lot here in the early minutes of this game.
They really have.
Stephen Mitchell's been stepping up big, applying a lot of pressure, keeping the ball out of the box. Indiana Purdue University takes up the sideline. It's kicked to the middle. Britt Watts possessed the ball and kicked it to the corner. The ball is crossed into the box and deflected by John Burns.
That was a great save by John Burns. He really got up in the air on that shot.
Indiana Purdue University is still attacking hard. They kick the ball back to midfield and is crossed and headed out of bounds by number 12, Bill Whitcomb. Matt Young throws the ball in. Correction, John Moran. John Moran sends the ball in and is possessed by Indiana Purdue University. Number 3, Jacob Murphy, is fighting for the ball. Austin O'Brien comes up with it. Asbury's getting a good look at the goal here. And offsides by the Eagles.
If only they could have finished that play, that would have been a great little momentum builder for Asbury.
If Asbury can get an early goal, I feel like it'll build a lot of confidence for us. Really get the team hyped and ready to go.
You're exactly right. I feel like confidence is key in this game just because they're coming off a loss. They didn't play their best on Friday night. I really feel like they're being hard on themselves, and an early goal would be a critical moment for the Eagles.
A lot of expectations for the Eagles this season just because of the veteran players they do have.
I mean, having 9 seniors, that's an amazing leadership aspect that not many teams have already. And I feel like Asbury really needs to use that to their advantage throughout the season.
Indiana Purdue University has been attacking hard. Bill Wickham has the ball and advances it to number 20. Number 20 sends it upfield and is deflected by John Moran.
Austin West for Indiana Purdue University is another player that Asbury should watch out for. He shoots the ball a whole lot, even though he doesn't get it in as much as a good average would expect, but he's one to watch to shoot.
Number 7, Britt Watts has the ball. Sent into the box and is possessed by Jose Rodriguez. Jose throws the ball in to number 12, Bill Wickham. Ball is kicked back to number 17, Andy O'Donohue, and returned to Bill Wickham. Landon Brown intercepts the ball and advances it upfield quickly.
Look
Billy
at the power
Congleton
from
working the ball up the field.
From Billy right now.
A foul is called, and the Asbury Eagles continue to possess the ball.
There's so much passion in that dribble by Billy right there. You can tell he was ready to shoot the ball and he was ready to score.
Billy is not going to be pushed around by anyone.
That is for sure. He is a tank, and his leg is a cannon, and he exhibits that every single game.
Last home game against Shawnee State, we saw some very aggressive plays from him.
I feel like every game, he's so aggressive. I love it. I love the intensity.
Takes a lot of heart to bring that kind of intensity to every game.
It sure does.
Number 20, Austin West, is working the ball up the field. He advances it, attempts to advance it to Britt Watts, a very strong offensive player for Indiana Purdue University. Indiana Purdue University possesses the ball and crosses midfield with it. Is sent over to number 9, Jose Rodriguez. Jose sends it over to number 4, Scott Williams, and he sends it into the box. And the ball is swept up by goalie John Burns. John Burns is observing the field. John is always very particular about where he sends the ball to.
He really is, and one thing that we can also count on from John, whenever he sends the ball, it's going to be in a good spot. And he's very good about placement of the ball after he punts it, and that's a very good aspect a goalie should have.
Indiana Purdue University sending the ball up the field. I feel like Indiana Purdue University has not used their size and their speed to their advantage quite the way they can.
They really haven't. I feel like they're saving it right now because we know that they're capable of a lot more than they're showing us right now.
Which they may be struggling with confidence too, coming off a tough loss.
They're coming off a 2-game losing streak, and I feel like after you lose a game and then having to bounce back so fast, it's really hard to get your mind back where it needs to be in order to get a win.
I know this is the first time Asbury has faced Indiana University, but I think that can be an advantage knowing that they don't have that mental block there.
Exactly. They don't know how the team plays. They don't know what's gone wrong in the past. They don't have all those hesitations of what they've done wrong before. They can play fresh and kind of find their own speed in this game. And I feel like that's what they need.
Britt Watts with the ball. Kicks it into the box and is sent out by Asbury Eagles. Billy Congleton possesses the ball. He is sending it up the sideline. Crosses midfield with it. Over to Landon Brown. Asbury having some open field now.
That was a great look by Landon. He just couldn't quite get the timing down with Grafton being there.
Sent it a little too far.
He did.
Indiana Purdue University crosses the ball. Matt Young.
Great intensity
right away
by
from him.
Matt.
Number 16, Grafton, is working the ball into the corner. Very great size and speed
He definitely had a size advantage just then. And I feel like the smaller player of Indiana Purdue University got the best of him.
Indiana Purdue University now has possession. Sent over to their goalie. Looking for an open man, and he crosses midfield with it.
Ooh.
The ball is possessed by Stephen Mitchell. He sends it over to Landon Brown. Back to Matt Young. And Matt Young sends it out of bounds. Possession by Indiana Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Number 9, Jose Rodriguez, working up the field. You can tell he has a lot of speed going for him. Nice pass by him into the box to number 20, Austin West. And Jared Rocco showing some toughness there to keep
Great
the goal.
defense by Jared Rocco just then. You can tell he had a lot of determination to keep him out of the box.
You can tell Indiana Purdue University was not happy with that call.
They definitely are not.
John Burns with the ball. Strong kick by John Burns as it crosses midfield and is headed by Indiana Purdue University. Britt Watts sends that ball over to number 28. Billy Congleton fighting for the ball. Such a strong player. A lot of aggressiveness going on there.
Billy fought hard for that ball. 2 players against him. He did a great job with placement for that, even though he lost possession. He was working hard.
Stephen Mitchell with the ball. He sends it over to Matt Young, a freshman. And Matt Young sends it out of bounds.
One thing about Matt, he doesn't have great accuracy with his kicks, and we've seen that with this kick he sent out of bounds, and then the kick before that he also sent that one straight out of bounds too. But he's trying hard. And that's
One great thing though, you can tell he has a lot of confidence.
Especially for a freshman.
Yes. And sometimes, you know, it can be a little bit of nerves getting to you. You know, you're playing a Division I school right now. You're a freshman, a lot of pressure.
And he started
Coach
this game.
pulled a lot of starters out and starting a lot of freshmen. Sees a great opportunity that lies in front of him. Ball is sent in by John Moran. And intercepted by Indiana Purdue University. Jose Rodriguez sends the ball back to number 6, Alex Kemp. Ball is now possessed by number 4, Scott Williams, who sends it back up the field to number 12, Bill Wickham.
Great deflect by Matt Young.
A lot of intensity there by number 17, Ryan Metcalf. Great to see that intensity of a freshman.
I just love the way that him and Grafton have been playing together this game.
Those are definitely 2 players that impressed me at the last home game against Shawnee State.
They played so well then. I feel like those players together are going to develop really well for Asbury over time, especially over the next 4 years or 3 years that they're here.
I know that Coach Andrews said he felt like this was the best recruiting class he's ever brought in. So if these boys stick together, you could see a very special team in a few years.
I'm going to have to agree with Coach Andrews on that. And also looking at his bench that he has, the sophomores that were freshmen last year, how great they played, adding in the freshmen from this year. I feel like they can go far in their bench, and it's not really going to hurt them when they're out on the field.
I agree. Ball is sent down the field. Number 16, Grafton Hamilton, is chasing it down. Grafton with the ball in the corner, working hard, crosses it into the box. Right idea.
That was a good look by Grafton.
Indiana Purdue University is sending the ball swiftly up the field. And the ball is possessed by number 28, Jared Rocco. Captain Stephen Mitchell is looking up the field. Sends it back to Jared Rocco. Jared Rocco advances it to number 17, Ryan Metcalf, and is swept up by Indiana Purdue University goalie.
The goalie for Indiana Purdue University really has been on point this first half. I know during the second half we can expect to see number 33, Raphael Kutzik, come in for the Matadors. I'm excited to see what he does as well.
Excited to see what he's able to do with his height.
Yes, I feel like that's going to be a huge advantage for Indiana Purdue University.
He can cover much more area than the normal person.
Very true.
Ball is advanced up the field by Indiana Purdue University. I still haven't seen the aggressiveness out of them that I expected.
I haven't either. I just feel like Asbury can capitalize on that if they would this first half, get that little confidence builder going into the second half.
Asbury's really seen some good looks this game already. They've got the ball down deep into the field.
They've had
I
a
think
lot
they
of
can
shots.
hang with this team.
I think they can
I
too.
think they could pull the upset. Ball sent over to number 9, Jose Rodriguez. You can tell Jose Rodriguez is very quick with his feet, very active player.
I feel like Matt Young is a great matchup for Rodriguez because his speed is fantastic against that player for Indiana Purdue University.
Stephen Mitchell has been so active on the defensive end. Really kind of being the glue for the team right now.
I feel like Mitchell comes in a lot as the glue for Asbury. He's a great playmaker and he's very vocal, and I feel like that really helps the Eagles throughout the game.
Indiana Purdue University sends the ball back to their goalkeeper. He observes the field and sends it over to number 12, Bill Wickham. Sent back to number 6, Alex Kemp. They're working up center field. It's kicked up the sideline and deflected by Asbury. Offsides against Indiana Purdue University. Asbury possession. Stephen Mitchell sends the ball up the field.
That was a great kick by Mitchell.
The ball is retrieved by number 16, Grafton Hamilton. Tough fall there for Grafton.
Indiana Purdue University has been very, very tough against Grafton in particular in this game. That's about the third time he's been sent out of bounds in that corner.
I thought he may have been hurt there, but looked like he got up pretty quickly.
Showing great toughness from the freshman.
Being a freshman, I bet in his head he was thinking I need to get up quickly because he doesn't want to be pulled from this game.
That's exactly right, Kylie. But I think that mindset that he has with that is going to take him far throughout this season and the rest of the time at Asbury.
Indiana Purdue University goalkeeper is about to send the ball up the field. He goes for a short kick over to number 6, Alex Kemp. Alex Kemp sends it across to number 17, Andy O'Donohue. And sent over to the sideline. He advances it up the field, number 14. And Austin O'Brien retrieves the ball. Billy Congleton with the ball. We've really seen some nice footwork from Billy Congleton, something I haven't really noticed previously.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I didn't notice all of the footwork that he's really clean
He's
cut.
always so aggressive, but I have never really noticed his footwork.
His slices are so precise whenever he tries to make a move.
Indiana Purdue University with the ball. Is kicked inbounds. Continuing to observe the field. And a deep kick sent into the box and retrieved by John Burns.
You can tell John really wanted to get both hands on that ball, especially considering what happened in the last game. He's really focused on keeping the ball out of the net.
Not really sure the placement of that kick was the best decision for Indiana Purdue University. Ball sent over to Jose Rodriguez and over to Alex Kemp. Alex Kemp with the ball. Sends it back up to Jose Rodriguez. Ooh, nice move by Jose Rodriguez. Very great footwork there. And sent into the box to number 20, Austin West. And sent to the goal by number 7, Britt Watts.
That's
You can tell
surprising.
Britt was very frustrated. He didn't score.
I mean, that's surprising coming from Britt. He's one of the main offensive players for the Matadors, and that's really surprising. He just wasn't feeling it with that. Too strong.
You could tell he was very frustrated. And talk about the footwork by number 9, Jose Rodriguez.
That was
a sweet move.
beautiful. You can tell he knows what he's doing.
First touch he had on the ball, I knew he had great footwork. did not take long to notice that. Very quick feet.
He's a very conditioned player, you can also tell. So he's able to make those quick moves with his feet. And
We say Adam Howard came into the game, a typical starter for the Asbury Eagles.
it's another very, very aggressive player for the Eagles.
Interesting to see how he reacts to having not started.
Exactly. I don't think he was too happy with that, just from the very big burst of intensity he showed in his first seconds on the field.
Ball sent into the box. And sent back to number 12, Bill Wickham. Number 9, Jose Rodriguez, with the impressive footwork, sent to the box and sent away by Stephen Mitchell. Back to number 9, Jose Rodriguez. Fighting for the ball here. Oh.
Again,
And the ball is tipped into the goal by John Burns.
that is the second time in 2 games that's happened to John. That is so hard on his mind. You can tell he is not happy with himself after that play. And I'm sure Coach Andrews is not too happy as well.
Not an especially hard kick. It just tipped off his fingers and rolled in. Very frustrating.
Just bad luck for the Eagles.
Indiana Purdue University now leads the Asbury Eagles 1-0. Landon Brown with the ball. Sends over to Matt Young and is kicked out of bounds by him.
It's the 3rd time he sent it out.
Bill Wickham throws the ball in. Goes over to number 20, Austin West. Over to number 7, Britt Watts. Very quick and very nice footwork. Nice move there. John Moran attacking him very aggressively. The ball is in the corner for Indiana Purdue University. Very nervous moment for the Eagles. Crossed into the box and headed out by the Eagles. Indiana Purdue still possesses the ball, and the ball goes back into the box. It is crossed over and headed out by Stephen Mitchell. Stephen Mitchell has been huge for the Eagles already this game.
He has. He plays with
not
such
backing
heart.
down.
You can tell he was not happy with that goal, and he is not happy with the fact that Indiana Purdue University is ahead in this game, and he wants to change that right now.
I think it's most frustrating when you're kind of beating yourself.
Exactly. I agree with you completely.
That was definitely a goal that shouldn't have occurred.
It could have been prevented, but unfortunately it was not.
Indiana Purdue University possesses the ball, is thrown in by number 20, Austin West. I hope the Eagles keep fighting, keep staying aggressive. I know a goal like that can cause your confidence to go away.
Exactly. Jesse Peterson has entered the game for the Eagles. That was so surprising not to see him on the starting lineup.
He played great for the Eagles against Shawnee State. Really was kind of like
And
man of the game.
Look at that speed he's showing right now and that
Very great
footwork.
footwork. Very crafty. Jared Rocco sends the ball up the field. And it is Indiana Purdue University's ball. The ball is sent in to number 12, who sends it back to the goalkeeper.
Senior Caleb Young is coming into the game.
For Matt Young.
He, against the game against Shawnee State, Caleb played so hard. I was really surprised at how hard he played. He was ready to win, and you can tell he is again tonight.
I wasn't too surprised just because Caleb's a player I really admire just for the fact that he is a senior. He has really seen no significant minutes until this year. And to stick that through, to stick that out while you're trying to keep up with college courses is tough to do.
John Burns made sure that ball was not coming anywhere.
He's very aggressive.
Near the
As
net.
soon as it touched the box, he was on it. John Burns the ball. Sends it across midfield. Jesse Peterson fighting for that ball.
Little
It's
intensity
Indiana Purdue
from
University ball.
Jesse. That's not something we see quite often from him.
Well, I can say as an athlete, anytime your spot is taken away from you, temporarily or permanently, you are going to fight for it. Ball is sent back to number 6, Alex Kemp. He sends it up the field to number 12, Bill Whitcomb. Bill sends up to Jose Rodriguez. Rodriguez is in the corner. Stephen Mitchell, again, coming up huge for the Eagles.
And if it,
Ball's thrown in by Bill Whitcomb over to Jose Rodriguez. Bill Whitcomb works it up the corner. John Moran being very aggressive. He crosses it into the box. Chased down by the Eagles. Austin O'Brien sends up the field to Jesse Peterson. We have some open field here. Jesse Peterson working up the field. Very quick feet. He is pushing it forward. Fighting for that ball there. He has 3 players on him, and it is sent back. Landon Brown with the ball.
you have
Over
to
to
give
Garrett
it to
Davis.
Jesse for that play just then with the 3 players against 1. His size compared to theirs was completely non-existent, and he worked so hard against Indiana Purdue University.
Jesse may be small, but he's a very stout player.
Very true,
And
Kylie.
very quick. His speed kind of makes up for that.
His speed does. He's so fast. He's one of the fastest players that Asbury has on their team.
You can tell that after that goal, Indiana Purdue University has been much more aggressive. Jose Rodriguez with the ball. I know we hadn't read much up on him, but Jose Rodriguez has impressed me more than anybody for Indiana Purdue University.
Jesse was so close. He had the greatest chance right there to score for Asbury. Unfortunately, he was not able to finish because of offsides. A heartbreaking moment for the Eagles, and especially for Jesse.
Ball's sent up the field by Indiana Purdue University. Sent into the box. Crossed over and out of bounds. Indiana Purdue University has kind of come alive here, a lot more aggressive, very gutsy with some of their plays.
Very, very gutsy. Fire lit in Asbury after that goal, and
They're wasting no time in advancing the ball.
Exactly.
That's for sure. The ball will be sent in from the corner by number 14, Corey Tom. Corey Tom placing the ball how he wants it. And he will kick it in to the box. Alex Kemp sends it over. Retrieved by number 20, Austin West. Asbury Eagle ball, sent out of bounds. We see 2 subs coming in for Indiana Purdue University. We see number 23, Drake Bowers. And we saw number 16, Austin Saberi. And I believe number 18, Spencer Brown, also came in. Number 18, Spencer Brown with the header there. Britt Watts has the ball. Number 14, Corey Tom, showing off his footwork there. He sends it up the field to number 18, who just subbed into the game. Stephen Mitchell deflects that ball. Sent to Austin O'Brien, pushing it up the sideline. Up to number 13, Garrett Davis. Asbury Eagles still possess the ball. And it will be thrown in by number 9, Austin O'Brien.
Something I want to see from Austin this game, he hasn't shown as much intensity as we would expect from him. He came from a Division I school, and his first year here last year, he was a key player for Asbury, and I feel like this year he just hasn't been putting forth as much effort as he should be.
I think he's probably gained some motivation. He started out not starting, and then against Shawnee State, we saw him with a very early goal, showing that, that skill set still there. And I think, sometimes when you go through that, there's highs and there's lows, and you just have to figure it out on your own.
Freshman Douglas Ward just entered the game for Asbury, or sophomore, excuse me. He's a player I love to watch. He's so clean with his footwork. He's so fast. He's a great player for the Eagles.
The Asbury Eagles are getting some good looks, but are just having trouble with placement today. Ball's thrown back to number 6, Alex Kemp. Alex Kemp sends it across the field. Jesse Peterson being very aggressive there, fighting for that ball. Very quick, as you can see. Ball sent back to Alex Kemp. Alex Kemp works at the field, number 18. Number 17, Andy O'Donohue, sends it over to the wing. The ball is being pushed up the field. Ooh. And Austin O'Brien steps in there.
Great move by Austin O'Brien. He came out of nowhere for that one.
He really did. Saw some intensity there, the intensity we were looking for.
There, that spark's coming back in him.
Austin O'Brien with the ball. Sends up to Garrett Davis. And Davis sends that ball out of bounds.
Garrett had a great look at the goal right then. Just too hard. And it's kind of surprising that he missed that ball because 5 of the 7 balls that he shoots in the net usually go in. So a miss is unlikely for Davis.
Garrett Davis has definitely been our strongest offensive player so far this season. I think one thing that's really hurting us tonight is not having Chris Israel in the game.
Yes,
Chris Israel
I
has
agree.
been dishing out the ball very well for the Eagles this season with his team leading 3 assists. And I know that he sits 21st in the NAI for total assists this season. And 22nd for assists per game.
Chris Israel, he's a great player because he covers the entire field on the sides.
And not only are we just missing his play, but we're just missing his leadership.
His leadership, he's a senior, he's one of the co-captains.
But you can tell that Stephen Mitchell has really stepped up. He's realized that loss. He realizes that this team needs to get together.
And that's great coming from Mitchell because that shows the leadership that he has in himself for this team.
I know he's very well respected by all of his teammates. Indiana Purdue University with more subs. We have number 15, Steven Danielian, and at number 24, Carmelo Morales entering the game. And also we have number 5, Cameron Sinclair entering the game. Indiana Purdue University feeling very confident with all these subs.
They really are.
For me as a player for the Eagles, that would motivate me.
There's a good chance you're coming out. You want to prove yourself to your coach that you're out there for a reason.
Jose Rodriguez with the ball. Sends it over. Jose coming up to the corner. Crosses it over. Feeling a lot of pressure from senior Caleb Young. And he is pushed out of bounds by Caleb Young. John Burns with the ball. Observing the field. He sends the ball across midfield, headed by Landon Brown, and Indiana Purdue University gains possession. Ball is sent back. The Eagles have possession. Sent into the corner. Adam Howard's chasing that down, but Indiana Purdue University's goalie was just able to get there before he could. They're working the ball up the sideline. Is advanced to number 24, Carmelo Morales, who just came into the game. Feeling a lot of pressure from Stephen Mitchell. And Asbury sends that ball the other direction. A foul is called against the Eagles, and it will be Indiana Purdue University possession.
Looks like we have an injury for Indiana Purdue University. It's going to come from number 6, Alex Kemp. He's a senior for the Matadors, and it's a big loss for him. But luckily he got up. Hopefully he's able to shake it off for the rest of the game.
Asbury Eagles with the ball. Sent out of bounds, still Asbury Eagles possession. The ball is being thrown in by Jared Rocco. Jared Rocco sends it up the sideline, aiming for Billy Congleton, but misses. Number 14, Corey Tom has the ball there. Great speed by him. Sent back up the sideline. And too long. Ball is sent out of bounds, and the Asbury Eagles gain possession.
Little sigh of relief right there for the Eagles, just to get a little break in the action. With 7 minutes left in the game, 7 minutes, 46 seconds, you know they're getting tired.
I just feel like the Eagles are just missing that intensity. I'm looking for somebody to show some verbal intensity, to get excited, And it just seems like we're just dead. We're just going through the motions.
Exactly. There's no spark on the field right now, and I feel like that's what the Eagles need.
Saw some motivation, some spark going on early in the game, and then after that goal, it just seemed to die out.
It killed him with that goal, and especially John Burns took it way too hard on
Somebody's
himself.
going to have to step up. Somebody's going to have to get the team together and get them going again.
I'm excited to see who that player is.
Me too. I feel like some of our leaders, Chris Israel being one that I named, and one of our most verbal players, Craig Moberly, being out, I feel like that just really hurts the Eagles.
It really does.
He's someone who really gets them going. You always hear him getting hyped and pumped up on the field.
Landon Brown is showing an insane amount of speed for the Eagles just then.
Number 15 crosses into the box, and it is sent away by Jared Rocco. Close goal there.
Great save by Jared Rocco, and I'm sure John Burns appreciates that as well. Somebody I'm excited to see out there for the Eagles right now, Cliff Evans, number 7. He is a senior here at Asbury, and he is a recent addition to the lineup. And he originally took a semester off for his education, and some classes didn't work out, and he was able to come back for the Eagles, and I know they're excited to have him back.
Cliff, just a great kid here. I know he leads worship for the Eagles a lot.
He led worship
Great
today.
Student.
He's a good role model, and he's a good face for the soccer team here as well.
Ball is headed by number 12, Doug Ward. Jesse Peterson being very aggressive. Jesse has came in this game with a lot of intensity.
I love the intensity
the kind of
from
reaction
him.
Coach was looking for out of him.
Exactly. Jesse surprisingly didn't start, and I feel like that gave him a little push, a little motivation that he needed, and that's why he's showing so much intensity right now.
Jesse Peterson with the ball. Good look at the goal. Fighting for the ball here, sent over to number 12, Doug Ward. Sent back over to Garrett Davis in the corner. Davis crosses it into the box and deflected by Indiana Purdue University. We had a great opportunity to score there.
I wish they could have maximized that opportunity just then. So close.
Ball is being advanced up the field, kicked over to the sideline, and crossed into the box, deflected by Caleb Young, but number 15 gets the ball. Number 15 with a near miss. Number 15, Stephen Danielian, who checked into the game just a few minutes ago for Indiana Purdue University, definitely missed down the opportunity.
That kick had some heat on it just then.
It's really frustrating because looking at the whole of this game so far, Indiana Purdue University really has not earned anything.
That's very true.
The one goal they did score was an on our own goal, tipped in by John Burns.
A little foul by
really
Cliff just then. He was not looking for Indiana Purdue to get that ball just then.
I like the intensity, though.
I love it.
Ball is sent back field by number 6, Alex Kemp. Number 17 advances up the sideline. Fighting for the ball in the corner. The Asbury Eagles knock it away. Number 15, Stephen Danielian, working the ball up the field, and the ball is sent out of bounds.
Another hard hit from Indiana Purdue University. Their legs are cannons, and that's been exhibited just with the past 2 balls that they've kicked towards our goal. Luckily, it was a little too hard.
One
went
thing
straight
I've just
over.
kind of observed, I mean, their height has definitely helped them. Asbury's kind of been, slowly advancing the ball up the field, short passes. Indiana Purdue University is just sending it upfield very quickly.
They are. When they get the ball, they've got one thing on their mind, and that is to score, and they're not wasting any time to do that.
Indiana Purdue University with the ball. Working it around the midfield area. Sent back over to Alex Kemp. Alex Kemp being one of the few players that has not been subbed out yet. The ball is sent out of bounds. Asbury Eagles possession. Just under 3 minutes left in the first half here. Ball is sent over to Landon Brown. Landon Brown, a young player who has shown a lot of promise so far this season.
He's so vocal when he plays, and that's a very good aspect that Asbury needs on the field, especially tonight when usually we see that from Chris, who isn't playing, and from Garrett. We don't really have that out there, but he's showing that, surprisingly.
Ball is retrieved by Indiana Purdue University and sent upfield. Jared Rocco regains possession. The Eagles need to protect their goal in the last 2 minutes here. A foul is called, and the ball goes to Indiana Purdue University.
John Moran, was booking it to get to that ball just then. I love the speed he always exhibits throughout the game.
Always showing a lot of hustle. Number 18 sends that ball into the box, and it is crossed over and headed out by Caleb Young. Great header there by Caleb Young. Doug Ward chases it down before it gets out of bounds. He's working up the sideline. He quickly advances it up the field. I believe that ball is going to be retrieved by the goalie. Just a little too much on that kick there. Edging down to the final minute here of the first half. Indiana Purdue University attacking aggressively. Ball's advanced up the field. Stephen Mitchell chases it down. He's fighting for that ball there. The ball is in the box, and Indiana Purdue University, I believe he was going to go for a shot there. Caleb Young retrieves the ball, sends it up the field, headed back by Indiana Purdue University. Less than a minute on the clock right now. Adam Howard with the ball, sends it upfield. Crossed over into the box and retrieved by the goalie. Number 5, Cameron Sinclair has the ball. Kicks it back to number 6, Alex Kemp. Back over to Sinclair. Sends it way up the field, looking to make a move here before the end of the first half. Less than 10 seconds on the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is the end of the play for the first half. We'll be back with you in the second half. Abby Witt will be coming to you with a halftime interview here in just a few minutes.
Kentucky, it's 1-0. We're entering the second half. Asbury Eagles are taking on Indiana Purdue University from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Unfortunately, Asbury has not been able to come out with a goal in the first half, but we're hoping to see some action throughout the second half. We can see a great crowd out in Wilmore tonight. It's a little chilly night. There's tons of blankets, tons of head wraps, and there's not much intensity from the crowd. And one thing about Asbury, they really rely on their crowd to get them motivated, and that hasn't been able to happen tonight. You can see their faces, they're just down on themselves for the way they've played. They are coming off a loss, so that is something to keep in mind. Their confidence level is already plummeting. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to capitalize on that. And in a few moments, we're going to be joined by the women's coach, Brooke Lincoln. They're coming off a winning streak. They're 3-0 on their season, and Brooke is really excited for the game tomorrow. They play St. Catherine College. They're ready to go. They're excited, and we're excited to speak with Coach Brooke Lincoln. Hi, Coach Lincoln. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
So your team, you're coming off yet another win. You're 3-0 on the season. How are you planning to keep this winning mindset going into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, we're not really so much focused on winning, and I told our girls in our meeting on Wednesday after the St. Catherine win that we started the season the way we wanted to, but we're not looking to be undefeated. That's not some kind of pressure that we're going to put on ourselves. That's not one of our goals coming into the season, and so we're just going game at a time, and we just happen to be 3-0, and we're not concerned with being undefeated at all.
That's a great mindset to have. I feel like your players are really using that to the best of their abilities. Meredith Urey, she's a senior. She's a great player for your team. What can we expect from her in tomorrow's game?
Yeah, Meredith and I sat in my office yesterday, and we're just talking about how she could be as good of a player as she wants to be. I'm so excited for Meredith. She's a great girl. She really loves the Lord, is hardworking, is one of our captains this year, and players like that you always are excited to see when they do well. And last season Meredith got off to a slow start and was really discouraged, and so we spent a lot of time this spring talking about how she could have a great
It's all right.
a great senior season, and so yeah, I'm excited for her. I really am. She's tied her career high here at Asbury with 5 goals this season, and we're just 3 games in, so I'm excited for her.
She's definitely going to beat it this year, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so.
So let's talk about your previous game you just have. There was 1 second left in the game. A shot was made. Brooke Perkins, goalie. She dove. She caught the ball. What was going through your mind when this happened?
First off, really happy for Brooke as a freshman goalkeeper. That should have never happened. We spent a lot of time Wednesday talking about game management, and we never want to play a ball square across our defense like that at any given time, especially when there's 12 seconds left on the clock, and just some mental lapses right there at the very end. But Brooke came up with a great save and to seal the deal for us there. But it was way too close for comfort, but it was at the same time great opportunities to talk about some game management stuff moving forward.
So you have 2 goalies that you're playing. One plays first half, one plays second half. How do they compare in their abilities in the goal?
Yeah, so the first 2 games of the season are exhibition game, and then our first game against Ohio Christian, Brooke Perkins, our freshman, and Lizzie Hoffa, our junior, were splitting time, and since then we've named Brooke Perkins our starting goalkeeper. And Lizzie's got an interesting story about how she became to be a goalkeeper here at Asbury, and one of the things that really sets Lizzie apart is she's just an athlete, and she's just a go-getter, and her technical skill is not quite as good as what Brooke's is, and so one of the reasons that Brooke beat her out of the job was just a little bit more technical ability, and she's just a goalkeeper, and so that technical ability eventually won out for her.
You made the statement recently that right now you're just an average team.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do, and what are you hoping to see from your team to make you guys a good team and potentially a great team?
Yeah, I think I told the girls Wednesday when we met too that we don't want to be playing our best soccer right now. We want to be playing our best soccer as we head into the conference tournament time, and we don't want to peak too early, and so that's important for the girls to realize now. And I think one of the ways for us to move from just an average team to a great team is confidence, and also the mental mind state. And we're just mentally not there yet. And girls have got to step on the field with the understanding of, regardless of the level of play, here's where the bar is set, and we've got to play to this bar, not to the level of the other team that we're playing against. And so we're still working through some of those mental issues, trying to work through, still coming together as a team. Several key freshmen playing in key areas of the field, and so we'll get there.
I believe you guys will too. Thank you so much, Coach Lincoln, for joining us tonight. We can catch the Lady Eagles back here tomorrow against Taylor University. I'm really excited for the game. I think it's going to be an awesome game. Last week when we saw the Lady Eagles, they played great. Their hearts are in the game, and I'm excited to see if they come out with the win again tonight. Before we go into the second half, Kylie's actually going to be joining me in a few seconds. Asbury's been playing great. Let's talk about the first half. They're playing great defense. They're playing great offense. They haven't been playing as tough as we could expect them to be, but it is early in the game. We have 1 whole half left. They're only down by 1 goal. I really feel like this halftime motivation speech from their coach is really going to be a key role going into the second half. I'm excited to see what the Eagles come out with. I'm also excited to see how Indiana-Purdue University comes out in the second half, because they're already playing great, and they haven't really had that spark yet that we're expecting from a D1 school, but they're doing pretty great, and I'm excited. And I think the crowd's excited. They're getting a little anxious, moving their feet. On this cold night, I'm surprised that so many people are out here, and I hope that motivates the Eagles going into the second half. So as Kylie joins me back up here, Kylie, what are your thoughts on the first half from the Eagles?
I really expect to see more intensity from the Eagles. I thought we came out strong and aggressive, saw the opportunity a lot in front of us, but I felt like after that goal, very unfortunate circumstances, I feel like we kind of dropped down. But I'm about to do an interview with Zach Welch. He was a senior last year for the Asbury Eagles and is now a head coach for the East Jessamine Lady Jaguars here in Nicholasville, Kentucky. Zach is going to be with us. He's going to help us analyze the game a little bit and see what he thinks about this game coming from a coach's perspective. I know that Indiana-Purdue University is a Division I school, so this is a huge opportunity for the Eagles, really help with their rankings. And Zach is joining us now. Good evening, Zach. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Beautiful weather out here. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I know now that you are head coach of the Lady Jaguars, and it's an exciting opportunity for you. What do you expect from the Eagles this season?
With just the personnel they have, their senior leadership now, the class that they have, they should make it pretty far. They do have a tough schedule this year. Rio just entered their conference, so it's going to be a tough ride for them. But if they can pull out some good wins this season and they just go strong throughout the rest of the season, I think they'll be fine.
I'm sure you noticed the starting lineup was a little different today. I know several veteran players who started with you last year were not starting. What do you think the reason for that was?
I think it's a statement from Coach Ben and Nate and the staff. I think they realized how they performed at St. Catherine's, and they weren't happy with it. And I think it's just a statement for them. They say if you're not going to perform, they will. They'll bench you. They're not afraid to. They won't. They have the personnel to stay and just play whoever. They have enough numbers to do that.
I know you played 4 years here and were very successful here. I know you were a captain for the Eagles last year. What do you expect from our captains this season? What is their role? What do they need to do?
Where they perform on the field is huge. Garrett Davis is already off to a great start. What does he have? He's got goals on goals. He's been KIAC Player of the Week 2 times, I think, already this season, and he's on fire. So that and Steven holding down the back, I think that in itself, being on the field and being those leaders on the field and by the way they play is huge for them. And even off the field, we know what they're doing off the field. Good guys, staying on every one of the players, just stay in the word, stay well, do well in classes and everything, and just perform well. That's a big thing.
I noticed the Eagles, their intensity kind of went down a little bit after that goal was scored. What do you think we need to do to get back into this game? What do we need to do to keep us going forward this season?
Very defensive formation going right now, and I think Coach wants that. They just have to somehow develop something in attack. They have to get up the field quicker, and they can't leave someone hanging up there. So when someone goes and makes a run or someone beats somebody, they have to have personnel up there to help them out. And right now, for them to succeed, that's what has to happen. Throughout the season, it's going to be the same way. It's going to be a ton of work from them, and they can't rely just on one person. Everyone just has to be one unit, and they'll find it and they'll get it done. It's early in the season, and they have plenty of time.
Well, hopefully this veteran team can get together and get back in this game. We thank you for being with us, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Abby Witt is going to be joining me now in just a few minutes. We have a big crowd out here tonight. It's definitely a chilly September night. The Asbury Eagles should be back out here and in play in the next 5 minutes. We're hoping that they can come out and be more active, be more energetic. And I hope we got a new perspective there coming from a head coach who has actually played 4 years of college soccer and has played with a lot of these guys and knows what they are capable of.
Turf? Fun little fact coming for you guys. Kobe Bryant is showing his support for the AstroTurf problem that has recently come to women's soccer. He tweeted a picture of Cindy LaRoe's legs to illustrate the toll that artificial turf extracts on players. If you see this picture, it was pretty graphic, and if they play on real grass like the men's team has the privilege of doing, that helps prevent a lot of injuries, and the women's feel like they're being discriminated against, and they're not being treated as fairly, and their soccer game isn't being taken as seriously as the men's. Abby Wambach and Alex Morgan, 2 amazing soccer players, they have demanded legal action on this issue, saying men's soccer is going to be played on grass no matter what. Why can't the women's be played there as well? So far, there has been no action taken on this. And Wombat actually made the comment that the FIFA organization thinks that they're bluffing, but you know what? They're not. They're ready to fight for what they feel like the women should be able to have. Kylie is actually back with me here on the sideline. 4 minutes left before the game starts. Kylie, you feel like let's talk about the crowd right now. Do you feel like they're getting a little bit more excited going into the second half?
Well, actually, I can say as an athlete here, I always feel like the men's soccer team brings the most fans to the program. And usually our fans are usually very active and very involved in the game, but tonight they've been kind of down. I think that stems from the lack of energy coming from the field.
I agree with that, and I firmly believe that the weather is not playing a good role in this. It's so cold out tonight, but as we can see right now, the kids are loving it. They're loving this weather. They're loving playing around right now, and I just love that. I love that aspect that Wilmore has as a community coming into the games.
I agree. You definitely have a special environment here at Asbury University. Everybody kind of bands together, being a small school and being a small town. You see a lot of students that get involved in the events that take place on this campus.
And there's so many events, especially for it being such a small school. And Friday night, most kids out, but a lot of them have come back to support the Eagles tonight, and I love seeing that.
I do too. Going in the second half, I know that the Eagles are going to really have to bring it if they want to get in this game.
They really are.
And like Zach Welch just finished telling me, he knows what this team is capable of. He's played with a lot of these guys for the past 4 years. He's been at every game so far this season. Has really just been involved still with the team. I mean, what do you expect to see from the Eagles this half, Abby?
Well, what I hope to see is a lot more intensity, a lot more heart, and I just feel like they're so down, and I just feel like their faces, they're not really into the game, because I feel like they're really beating themselves up about this recent loss that they just had, and especially the circumstances as to which the past 4 goals that have been scored have fallen, and they got to forget about the past. That's one thing Jesse talked about earlier, that he's already forgotten about it, and he's moved on, and he's cleared his head, and he's ready to play. And that's something that we have been able to see from Jesse is intensity, and you can tell he really has moved on. He's ready for this game.
Well, we see that Jesse Peterson's actually going to be starting this half, and we see Adam Howard is also going to be starting this half. The Eagles and the Indiana Purdue University Mastodons are at midfield, getting ready to start this second half and get it underway. I'm hoping that we see a lot of intensity still from Jesse this half. I would like to see a lot more touches by Garrett Davis as well.
I would too. Usually Garrett is one of the players that have his foot on the ball the most, and that's really surprising not to see that.
Indiana Purdue University possesses the ball. It's sent back to number 6, Alex Kemp. Alex Kemp sends the ball across midfield over onto the far wing and is sent out of bounds. Indiana Purdue University possession. Ball is thrown in and headed by number 8, Stephen Mitchell for the Asbury Eagles. The ball is headed out of bounds.
The ball was headed out of bounds and over the sideline. That had a lot of air on it.
It did. Indiana Purdue University tries to cross that ball into the box. It is sent in by Britt Watts. John Burns chases that ball down. I hope that John Burns can keep his confidence up despite the unfortunate circumstances the past 2 games. I know Coach Andrews has a lot of faith in him.
I have a lot of faith in John as well, just under the goalie circumstance in general, losing Nick. John really has stepped it up, and I can see on his face a little bit he has moved on from what has happened, and especially in the last half. But he's ready to play. He's got a little spark in him, we can tell.
Number 14, Corey Tom, had that ball in the corner there. I could tell from the first half he is a very quick player. Ball sent into the box to number 4. Number 4 tries to send that ball into the goal, but is far right.
John Burns looking a little shaken up from that. He landed on his left arm.
You could tell he got up with a sigh of relief there.
Oh, I'm sure he is relieved, Kylie. But
as a goalie, that's a lot of pressure on you. You're the last man. You're the last defender back there. You're huge to the team. If you don't have a good goalie, you don't have much of a team.
Exactly.
Number 9, Austin O'Brien, throws the ball in over to number 3, Adam Howard. Adam Howard, a senior here at Asbury University. He sends it over to the sideline and is retrieved by Indiana Purdue University. Asbury fighting for that ball.
Great hustle by freshman Matt Young. He's really showing some heart in tonight's game.
Coach must see a lot in Matt Young. In the first half, you could tell he had his nerves going a little bit, but for him to start him this half again as a freshman, he must see a lot of potential there.
That says a lot about him as a player also.
Ball is sent up the field. Number 8, Stephen Mitchell, kicks the ball away. Indiana Purdue University ball. The ball will be thrown in by number 7, Britt Watts. Ball is thrown and bounce. Indiana Purdue University in the corner of the field. Ball is crossed over into the box. Britt Watts with the ball, sends it towards the goal. knocked away by Asbury. Indiana Purdue University already making a statement here in the second half. They have had the ball in the box multiple times.
Asbury's also making a statement back at them that they're going to fight to keep them out of that box. That's something that we've been able to see. I feel like Asbury came out in the second half a lot more motivated than they came out in the first half. That is for sure.
Well, you see some of these veteran players now coming back out here with the start of the second half. And you know that has to get their confidence going a little bit, letting them know, hey, coach still believes in me.
And that's good for them as upperclassmen to be able to, even though they don't start, it didn't really get in their head that much, and they were able to come back in the second half.
Number 10, Mike Inghofer with the ball. Eagles to send it away. Adam Howard fighting for possession there. Number 9, Jose Rodriguez, who made a big statement in the first half. To me, was the most impressive player.
He definitely was the most impressive player for Indiana Purdue University. He was quick, he was concise with his footwork, and he was hard. He played hard.
And he was one of the only players who wasn't subbed out of the game for Indiana Purdue
Which
University.
is surprising with the amount of subs that they did have throughout the first half.
Which to me means coach must think, hey, we need him in there. He's huge to us.
And going against the strong defense that Asbury has, they're going to need tough, fast players to play against that. And he's one of the main ones that have exhibited that tonight.
Indiana Purdue University fighting for the ball there. They gain possession. They send it into the backfield. Number 17, Andy O'Donohue, observing the field there. Kicks it ahead up the sideline. It's headed out of bounds. Indiana Purdue University ball. Ball is kicked in, is in the far corner. And sent into the box. Retrieved by number 9, Austin O'Brien. Austin O'Brien working at the field very quickly. It's intercepted by number 10. Sent over into the corner to number 14, Corey Tom. Corey Tom trying to work into the box there. Headed by number 4, Scott Williams. Adam Howard fine for that ball. Ball is kicked over into the corner again. Over to number 7, Britt Watts. Britt Watts sends it across the field and is headed by Indiana Purdue University. Jose Rodriguez with the ball in the corner. Sends it back across the field. The ball is sent out of bounds.
Matt Young, we just found on Jose Rodriguez, and they're two players that play very well against each other because they play very similar. They're very fast, they're very focused, and I love watching those two matched up against each other.
John Burns sends the ball up the field. Britt Watts chasing it down over there. Asbury Eagles with the ball. Jesse Peterson sends it back to Matt Young. Indiana Purdue University regains possession. Adam Howard chasing that ball down there. Kind of backed off a little bit.
I like seeing Adam play. I'm glad that they brought him back so early in the second half. He's such a key player for Asbury. He's strong and he's a bulldozer.
Well, he has an advantage that a lot of our players don't have. The fact that he played on a semi-pro team this past summer.
That's exactly right. He's got a
Gives
lot
him a little
more
bit of advantage.
experience than most players have.
And he's played at an elite level. He's played with guys who've played at this Division I level.
And I love the fact that he still brings that game that he has to have on that level back to Asbury. It's a great motivator for the Eagles.
Landon Brown there. Send the ball up the sideline over Jesse Peterson. Jesse Peterson showing off a lot of footwork and skill there. Jesse Peterson going towards the goal. Sends it and deflected away. Great opportunity to score there.
Such a close shot. That's another close one for the Eagles tonight.
I wish we got to see Jesse Peterson start this entire game because since he has been in, he has provided 2 good looks at the goal.
And Asbury hasn't taken that many good looks throughout the entire game. So
for a team that's much taller and much faster than us, Jesse, surprisingly, probably to them, not to us,
exactly,
can fly by them. Asbury Eagles looking to throw the ball in. Ball is kicked across midfield and retrieved by number 4, Jesse Peterson.
He's going at it again.
Jesse Peterson's being very relentless.
You can tell he's not giving up. He's ready to score.
Jesse Peterson's definitely a fan favorite.
Jesse's always a fan favorite. Any game, we can always count on that. But I feel like it's more so the way he carries himself off the field as to why so many people here at Asbury love him. He's such a good person. He's got such a great, kind heart, and I'm so happy to call him a personal friend of mine. He's just a great person all around.
Matt Young, I believe, just kicked that ball into Jose Rodriguez's face. That had to hurt. Asbury Eagle ball.
I'm really surprised that we haven't seen more of a game from Scott Williams, who's a senior for Indiana Purdue University. He's one of their leading offensive players, and he really hasn't had any shots at the goal tonight, which is very surprising.
Asbury University with the ball. Austin O'Brien sends it across into the box. And it is retrieved by the goalie.
Glad to see the crowd finally start getting into the game.
No, I haven't heard much from them. They're usually very loud. Ball is sent into the box and out of bounds. Asbury Eagle possession.
You can just see another relief that Austin O'Brien just showed, John Burns just showed with that ball going out of bounds. They're really tense when the ball gets close to the box.
John Burns observing the field. Austin O'Brien with possession. Sends up the sideline to Jesse Peterson. Love to see Jesse with the ball right now just because of the way he's playing. He's being so aggressive.
And he's all over the field. We saw him on the right side just a few minutes ago. Now he moved all the way back over to the left side. He's really using his speed to his advantage, moving all the way across the field. That's awesome from Jesse.
Ball's being chased down. John Burns slides in there and retrieves the ball.
Great sliding save by John Burns.
John Burns going way out in the box there to make sure that that ball doesn't go any deeper into the field.
Ever since the last goal, he's really been on himself to more so stay outside, more on the outside of the box and stay inward near the net, which helps him cover more ground and stops them sooner from getting near the box.
In the first half, we saw number 14, Corey Tom for Indiana Purdue University, send a shot towards the goal, tipped off John Burns' fingers for those of you who did not watch the first half. Ball is set up the sideline to Jose Rodriguez. Rodriguez crosses the field within, sends it over to number 10, Mike Inghofer. Inghofer sends it over to number 14, Corey Tom. Corey Tom, very quick.
He's a player.
Kind of reminds me of Jesse Peterson.
That's exactly what I was going to say,
A great
Kylie.
save there by John Burns.
He's fast. His footwork's great, and we've also been able to tell that he has good placement with the ball, just like Jesse.
John Burns sends that ball way up the field, and it is headed by number 16, Grafton Hamilton. Jesse Peterson with the ball near the box. We thought we had a good look there.
Grafton really started something that I wish Jesse could have finished just then. That was a great setup.
Indiana Purdue University chases the ball down in the corner. Ball is sent away by Stephen Mitchell. Stephen Mitchell just really being relentless on defense there. For a game that hasn't gone our way much, Stephen Mitchell has shown a lot of promise.
He hasn't backed down, and you can tell that he hasn't given up on the team.
No, too often, we don't notice the defensive players as much because we get so caught up in the goals and the assists, and
yes.
Offense is sadly sometimes more valued. But we gotta give respect to the guys who protect the goal. Number 20, Austin West, is working that ball at the field.
Had a hard hit
Takes it
against
into the
Sean
corner.
Moran.
She's running through people. Tries to send it to the goal, but is deflected by the Eagles. Ball is sent out of bounds, and it is Indiana Purdue University possession. Just under 32 minutes here in the second half.
can tell the players are getting a little tired and the field's getting a little wet. They're slipping up a lot in the second half.
Definitely a cold September night. I know I'm sitting here freezing, so
I am too, Kylie. I am too.
it's important for the Eagles to stay loose.
I'm
John
really
Burns the ball.
I'm really surprised because just here at Asbury, there's been a lot of sickness going around. And unfortunately, I have caught that sickness. And none of the soccer players have. I'm very, very glad that they've been able to stay healthy throughout the season. And that says a lot about them. That says a lot about the way they train, the way they prepare themselves with food and nutrition. And that's awesome. That's a great quality to have for a team.
Indiana Purdue University crosses the ball over. Number 12, Bill Wickham with the ball. Ball is sent out of bounds and is thrown in by number 12, Bill Wickham. A little bit of confusion for Indiana Purdue University. He sends the ball in to number 7, Britt Watts. Britt Watts being a very strong offensive player for Indiana Purdue University. Jose Rodriguez sends the ball back to midfield. Britt Watts with the ball. Intercepted by the Asbury Eagles. Landon Brown with the ball, working it up the field. He sends it upfield over to number 10.
Grafton almost had his foot on the ball just then. He's such a fast player. He's a great freshman.
Ball is sent over to number 17. Number 10 working the ball up the field. Hits it off of Austin O'Brien and over to number 20, Austin West. Austin West kind of trapped in the corner there. Gets it over to Corey Tom, number 14. Corey Tom with the 1 goal for the Indiana Purdue University. Number 10 sends it over to Matt Britt. Matt Britt sends it over to Corey Tom, and they are in the box.
The passing that was just exhibited by Indiana Purdue University shows what a great squad they are. That was beautiful. Just a quick pass over, a little flip over another player's head. I'm really impressed by that, Kylie.
The ball is almost headed in by Matt Britt.
Another sigh of relief coming from the goalie, John Burns.
Although Indiana Purdue University has had a lot of good looks, you have a lot of respect for our defensive line. Our defensive line's really done a great job tonight.
They've done amazing. They've really maximized their efforts to keep the ball away from John.
The more this game progresses, though, you can just see that the skill level of Indiana Purdue University. You can see why these boys are playing Division I soccer.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the game that I felt like they were saving it up, and I feel like right now they're starting to dish out what they actually are capable of.
I feel like being a Division I school, I think maybe, coming into this game, they might have wrote it down as a win.
Exactly.
Probably we're not. It's easy for us to get hyped for a game when we're coming to play against a Division I team, but for them to get that mental mindset you have to have coming into the game probably took them a little while to realize, hey, this is a serious game. We got to get focused.
Exactly, because so many times you write off a team before you actually know how they play, and since this was the first meeting, and they are such a more recognized
Number
squad.
16, Grafton Hamilton. Oh, thought Grafton Hamilton was going to get the goal there. Could have been huge for the Eagles.
You can tell he's really beating himself up. He nearly missed that goal. It barely grazed the top of it.
I'm not sure if Hamilton's back is hurt or if he is just heartbroken from that near miss.
Oh, I think he is rubbing his back a little bit. Luckily, he did get up, but you can tell he's heading over to the bench. He's ready for a sub. And we see Billy Congleton and Garrett Davis coming in. Now,
For the Eagles. Grafton.
let's hope
exiting the
Grafton's
field.
okay. This could be a big loss for Asbury.
Ball is sent up the field. Headed by Austin O'Brien. Kind of jumped over Corey Tom's back there. Nice aggressive intensity.
Got the crowd really hyped just then.
Stephen Mitchell chasing down that ball there. Advances it back up the sideline and is retrieved by Indiana Purdue University by Bill Wickham. He's working it up the field. Sending it over into the far corner. And he launches it towards the goal, and John Burns taps it away. And the ball is sent long over the goal.
That was a great tap by John Burns out of the box.
Again, Asbury just kind of holding on some of these plays. It could very easily be a much greater deficit for the Eagles.
I feel like they're trying so hard right now. We can see that from how hard their offense is going and how strong their defense is right now. You can tell they want this win. They want to score right now.
It's frustrating because I believe the Eagles truly do have the talent to upset some Division I teams.
Yes, I agree with you completely.
Indiana Purdue University advancing the ball. Matt Britt with the ball.
Asbury will now regain possession of the ball. I feel like John Burns is really gaining his confidence back in the second half. After the first goal that was scored against him, he really beat himself up, but now you can just tell he's playing with way more heart than he did, and that's great. That he can bounce back from such a heartbreaking blow earlier.
I think he knows he has to bounce back. He's
Yes.
been our main goalie. Nick Grounds, one of our other goalies, is out. John Burns has to be focused at all times. Garrett Davis with the ball, advancing up the field. Over to Jesse Peterson. Jesse Peterson sends it back over to Landon Brown. Ball sent up the field and retrieved by Billy, pushing it up the field.
Billy using his intensity to his advantage right now.
We are in the box. Billy gets the ball taken away. I almost wish he had kind of taken a shot a little earlier with his strong leg, I think.
I agree with you. He could have really placed that ball well in the goal, even from the distance that he found himself back far from. But it's another loss for the Eagles right there.
Britt
So many
Watson,
attempts
ball
they've
out of
had.
bounds. Asbury Eagles in the corner there. Ball's being thrown in by Indiana Purdue University, and they bring in a sub.
Yet another subbing opportunity for Indiana Purdue University.
And it looks like number 15, Stephen Danielian, will enter this game again.
And Britt Watts, which is one of the main offensive players for Indiana Purdue University, and I would really like to see Asbury use this sub to their advantage, having him out of the game. I feel like it's exactly what they need because he's one of their strongest players, he's one of their fastest players, and he's one of the players that gets his foot on the ball the most.
Well, something about Britt Watts, he does not look like the most lean or in-shape player, although he is deceptively quick. You definitely have you definitely have to be in condition to play soccer. Indiana Purdue University with the ball. Sends it over to number 4, Scott Williams. Deflected away by Asbury University. Chased down by Indiana Purdue University. Alex Kemp with the ball.
Another great intensity moment for Matt Young, freshman. I love the way he gets in the air and the way he plays. That was a very lucky miss for the Asbury Eagles just then. Thankfully, it hit the side of the goal and bounced right out.
Austin O'Brien was definitely fine for that ball there on the sideline.
With under 24 minutes left in the game, Asbury really needs to jump on the opportunity to get a goal.
Billy Congleton fine for that ball, and I'm not surprised he won for that. Garrett Davis with the ball. Intending to send that to Billy Congleton, but intercepted by Indiana Purdue University. Jesse Peterson with the ball, advancing it up the field.
You can tell Jesse's fighting for it. Indiana Purdue got their foot on it, but
Matt Young with the ball. And number 16, Austin Saberi, gets that ball back.
Indiana Purdue playing it safe by sending the ball back down to the goalie.
Indiana Purdue University sends the ball over to the sideline. Crosses over to the box, number 15. Number 15 takes a shot, but it is over the goal.
Luckily, we're getting a little breathing room right now for both teams.
We see more substitutions in this game. We see number 23, Drake Bowers come into the game, and number 3, Jacob Murphy, come back in this game. Jacob Murphy started for the Mastodons, and number 5, Cameron Sinclair, is also entering the game, along with number 12, Bill Wickham.
Indiana Purdue keeps trying to play it safe by sending it back down to the defense where there's fewer Asbury players. I feel like they kind of know Asbury's coming after them a little bit.
Indiana Purdue University sends the ball back to their goalie. Their goalie sends it back up the field. And he launches it across midfield. Ball's being fought for over in the far sideline. Asbury Eagles seem to send it out of bounds. Correction is Asbury Eagle ball. The Asbury Eagles throw the ball in. Looks like John Moran throwing that ball in for the Eagles.
John Moran's one player that we can expect to always take the throw-in for Asbury. He's got such a strong arm, and his placement with the throw-ins are perfect every single time. And that's something that works really well for John.
Ball is sent back out of bounds, and the Eagles still have possession.
And no surprise, John Moran will take the throw again.
We see another substitution here for the Eagles.
Caleb Young coming back into action.
And number 9, Austin O'Brien, exiting the field.
And we see sophomore Paul Ledgerwood come in for the Eagles. This is his first appearance in the game.
Paul Ledgerwood is from Florida, went to the same high school as John Burns. Indiana Purdue University swiftly moving that ball up the field. Ball is sent over into the box, deflected away by the Eagles. Ball goes back to number 5, Cameron Sinclair. Sinclair crosses it back into the box. It is knocked away by the Eagles. John Burns grabs that ball as it's sent into the box.
Great catch by John Burns. You can really see his confidence is back. That's great for him.
We see Indiana Purdue University sending that ball up the field. It is crossed over to number 3, Jacob Murphy.
Great stop by Jacob Murphy. He really used his chest to his advantage just then.
John Burns sweeps up that ball. And a strong kick towards midfield. Billy Congleton going after that ball. Number 17, Andy O'Donohue, sends it over to number 5, Cameron Sinclair, and back to O'Donohue.
Indiana Purdue is really trying to play it safe right now. You can tell that they're trying to waste some time before they actually have to make a move on Asbury.
Alex Kemp sends that ball up the field and is headed away by Stephen Mitchell. Asbury Eagles with possession. Looked like Paul Ledgerwood sends that ball up the sideline.
I'm excited to see how Paul plays in today's game. We haven't seen any action from him this week, and he's a really strong player for Asbury, even though he doesn't get much playing time.
You know if Billy Congleton about gets knocked down, you hit him hard. A good shot by Billy Congleton. You see that strong leg there, but it's saved by Indiana Purdue University.
John Moran just used his power and speed right then. That was a great move by John Moran. Now, the Asbury Eagles will take possession of the ball, I believe. You can tell there's a little breathing room right now, a little break in the action for both squads, and they really need that. All of them are drained from the game. 17 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second half.
Asbury Eagles send the ball back up the field by Stephen Mitchell. Head away by number 6, Alex Kemp. Regained possession by Adam Howard. Adam Howard pushing it in towards the box. Adam Howard sends it over to Caleb Young. Caleb Young kicks it across towards the goal.
So close again
And
for the
offsides.
Eagles. Caleb had a really good look, and you could tell that he was really wanting to make a play right there. Just offsides again. That's the second time that's happened for the Eagles tonight.
Really struggling with execution. Indiana, Purdue University slowly working the ball up the field. Crosses midfield with it and is retrieved by Paul Edgewood. Jesse Peterson is fine for that ball there.
I just love the intensity Jesse's shown. He's such a great player.
We see several subs coming into the game. Landon Brown is exiting the game. And it looks like in for him is number 19, Zach Andrews.
Zach Andrews is one I'm really looking forward to seeing play. He played a little bit against Shawnee State, and he really uses his height to his advantage in the air, and he's such a fast player. He's a great player for Asbury.
I think that was a smart decision by Coach Andrews to bring in some subs. You could tell our players were getting tired.
Brought in his own brother.
Paul Edgewood fine for that ball there. Jose Rodriguez gained possession and knocked down hard by G.
A little tangled up right there with Garrett Davis and one of the Indiana Purdue University players.
Indiana Purdue University with the possession. Sent over to number 5, Kevin Sinclair. Sinclair sends it over. Ball sent back to Donahue. Ball's crossed over into the box. Defender falls down, and the ball is chased down by number 3, Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy in the corner, working into the box.
A little slice and dice over
Seeing
there.
pressure from Jared Rocco. He crosses it back over the field. And a shot made by number 12, Bill Wickham.
Bill Wickham has such a strong foot. He's another one of the players that earlier sent the ball straight over the net. If he gets his placement down, he can make goals from almost anywhere on the field.
We talk about the Eagles missing some opportunities to execute, but we've been very fortunate so far that Indiana Purdue University has not executed on some of their looks. Number 3, Jacob Murphy with the ball, sends it over to number 18, Spencer Brown. Spencer Brown chasing the ball down the corner, sends it across into the goal area, knocked away by John Moran.
Great save by John Moran. That really works the Eagles' advantage just then.
The defensive line has really had to work hard tonight for the Eagles.
They really have, and they've done a great job back there.
Ball be sent in from the corner. Ball be sent in by number 18, Spencer Brown. Ball sent into the box. John Burns kind of out of position there.
Great kick away from Paul Ledgerwood just then. We found goalie John Burns actually out of the box. And that
missed
kick,
opportunity there for Indiana Purdue University.
a big missed opportunity, but thankfully Paul Ledgerwood was there and he was able to get the ball away.
It's amazing that the goal that Indiana Purdue University had, that they scored on the one they scored on, considering some of the great looks they had.
Exactly.
Ball's advanced up to number 23, Drake Bowers. Deflected away by Stephen Mitchell. Stephen Mitchell has been very strong for the Eagles tonight. Saved us in a lot of situations.
Great intensity right there from Asbury.
Foul is called on the Asbury Eagles, and the fans are not happy about that one.
I feel like they have a right to be very mad about that because we saw some mutual elbows being thrown right there from Indiana Purdue and Asbury. I don't think I agree with that call, Kylie.
Indiana Purdue University has possession of the ball. Jose Rodriguez taking the kick.
I'm anxious to see what he does with this kick, considering how he's been playing so far. His great
Tough
footwork.
situation here for the Eagles. John Burns knocks it away, is in the box. Eagles fighting for it.
Billy,
Knocked away by Billy Congleton. Retrieved by Jose Rodriguez. And another call made by the official. Asbury Eagles ball. Caleb Young with the ball, working it up the sideline. Fighting hard. Strong hit there from Jacob Murphy.
luckily
Sent
he was
back to Ben Andrews.
able to stay on his feet right then.
Indiana Purdue University working at the field. Ball sent to midfield.
Another sign you can tell that Asbury does not want the ball anywhere near the boxes. Every single player on the team, when the ball gets near it, is down in the box trying to stop it. They really do not want another goal.
The Eagles have really spent a lot of time on the defensive end tonight.
They really have. And props to Landon Brown. With Zach Welch leaving last year, he's had huge shoes to fill, and he's done a great job this season, I believe.
He truly has. John Burns sweeps at the ball. Indiana Purdue University has definitely been in control this game. John Burns with a strong kick sends the ball over to midfield. Jesse Peterson chasing the ball down, headed by Bill Wickham. John Moran gains possession of that ball, sends it up the sideline to Paul Ledgerwood. Paul Ledgerwood advances it.
Paul's seeing some solid minutes tonight for the Eagles, and he's really done a great job when he's been in the game.
Ball sent out of bounds, and Indiana Purdue University regains possession. We see some more substitutions here.
We see number
24, Carmelo Morales, come into the game.
And we also saw Austin O'Brien for the Asbury Eagles come in for senior Caleb Young.
Indiana Purdue University working the ball into the corner. Ball sent out of bounds. You can see everybody's starting to slow down a little bit.
Little elbows being thrown down there from Indiana Purdue University.
And the ball is sent out of bounds again. Eagles regain possession. Just under 10 minutes to go here in the second half.
If Asbury plans on making a comeback, they need to do that soon. They're running out of a lot of time.
Based off some of the looks on goal that Indiana Purdue University has had tonight, it's very surprising that they are only up by 1.
I'm glad to see freshman Grafton Hamilton return to the game. First second he's in, he gets his head on the ball and he makes a statement.
Billy Congleton fighting for that ball. Nobody's going to knock him down. Sends the ball up the field. Just a little too much on it. Almost goes through the goalie's hands.
I love that even though Billy was so far back, he made that shot. If we'd had another player down, we really could have maximized that.
Billy took that shot from way off. I feel like if he had been a few feet closer, it may have worked out for him. We saw that ball almost go through his hands like it did with John Burns earlier in the game.
Exactly. I feel like Billy took that shot out of frustration just from not really having that many attempts. We're still down by 1. I think he just wants a goal.
John Burns sends the ball to midfield. Grafton Hamilton hits it with his chest. Ball is advanced up the sideline. Matt Young was working and chased it down but went out of bounds, and possession goes to Indiana Purdue University.
I feel like Matt Young has been able to come into this game and replace Chris Israel pretty well because they play very similar. They're both very conditioned, very fast players, and they're able to cover most of the field. And
we see number 14, Corey Tom, re-enter this game for number 3, Jacob Murphy. Both of those players starters for the Mastodons. Jesse Peterson is working for that ball there, sent out of bounds, and the Eagles have possession. The ball be thrown in by Matt Young. Correction, ball's thrown in by John Moran.
Again, not surprising for the Eagles. It's a good thing that they're using
throws
him.
up the field.
Yeah.
We see that Britt Watts is back into the game for Indiana Purdue University. Very strong offensive player. He actually has possession of the ball right now. He is going into the box with it. I thought number 5 there was going to chase that ball down.
Luckily, Adam Howard for the Asbury Eagles was there to save the ball. first half never really got to see.
Austin O'Brien with the ball, sends it over to Billy Congleton. Billy Congleton sends over to Garrett Davis. And rejected. Jared Rocco with the ball, sends it back up the field. Headed by Austin O'Brien. Jesse Peterson with the ball, working into the far corner, sent out of bounds, and the Eagles regain possession of the ball. Austin O'Brien looking to throw that ball in, observing the field. Looking for an open man. He throws it in. Sent back to Austin O'Brien, knocked out of bounds. And possession goes to Indiana Purdue University. We see another sub coming into the game. Looks like number 16, Austin Saberi, entering the game. And we also see number 4, Scott Williams, coming in for the Mastodons. Number 5, Cameron Sinclair with a throw-in.
5-second violation.
Throws up the sideline. Is headed away by Jared Rocco.
Jared Rocco, one player that's great in the air. He just showed that again with that hit.
Ball sent over to number 12, Bill Wickham, who drops it into the box.
Such a
Headed
shot
away. Chris Tom tries to take a shot there, but is rejected by Stephen Mitchell, who's been very strong for the Eagles on the defensive end.
Stephen Mitchell, he's been in for most of the game, first and second half, and I'm glad that he's one of the players that they've kept in. They haven't really substituted because he's one that shows heart all the time.
Nearing in on the 5-minute mark here. If the Asbury Eagles are going to make a move, they need to move quickly.
You can tell
the ball be kicked in by the corner, drops into the box.
Great save by John Burns.
You saw number 5, Cameron Sinclair, try to head that ball in there. Austin O'Brien pushing the ball up the sideline.
He's moving fast. Unfortunately, a missed attempt for Asbury right there.
Back away and regain possession by Austin O'Brien. Sent over to Adam Howard. Stephen Mitchell sends it over to Matt Young. Matt Young working up the sideline over to Jesse Peterson. Jesse Peterson sends it back to Garrett Davis. Garrett Davis sends it back up the field. Kicked away by Cameron Sinclair. Austin O'Brien working to chase that ball down. Jared Rocco running after the ball. Kicked back over to Stephen Mitchell on the defensive end. Mitchell with a strong kick up the field.
Until he was not happy with the placement of that kick just then. He was aiming left and actually hit right, but luckily Jesse Peterson was there to retrieve the ball.
Number 6, Alex Kemp with the ball. Sends it forward, headed away by Stephen Mitchell once again. Headed by Adam Howard over to Jared Rocco. Jared Rocco sends it up the field to Austin O'Brien. Austin O'Brien sending it up the field. Sends it over to number 16, Grafton Hamilton. Grafton Hamilton in the corner.
Grafton working hard to get that ball in the box.
Just kicking into the box. Sends a shot into the net. Headed away by Chris Tom. Chris Tom with possession of the ball. Sends it over to number 4, Scott Williams. Scott Williams advances it up the sideline to Jose Sinclair.
I love the intensity the crowd is showing right now. There's 3 minutes left, and they want to see something from Asbury with those 3 minutes left.
Indiana Purdue University makes that ball, saved again by John Burns.
Another great save from John Burns tonight.
John Burns realizing the urgency of time, just under 3 minutes here. Number 16, Grafton Hamilton, attempting to get that ball, sent out of bounds, and Asbury Eagles have possession. The ball will be thrown in by Billy Congleton. He sends it up to Grafton. The ball goes into the full corner and sent out of bounds.
They're moving fast right now.
Asbury Eagles have possession.
I love the fact that Asbury's playing so fast with so little time left, but I really wish they would have shown this much aggression earlier in the game. It really could have helped result in a goal.
Billy Congleton throwing the ball in, nearing in on the 2-minute mark here. Ball's thrown into Adam Howard. He kicks it over to Austin O'Brien. Austin O'Brien sends it to the corner. Offsides on the Eagles.
Unfortunately, Indiana Purdue University will regain possession of the ball. It's not looking in favor for Asbury to score tonight.
We've had several opportunities where we have had good looks and been offsides.
But you can show just from the offsides that they're working hard to try to get a goal. It's just not
Ball's
working
advanced
right.
up the field. Chris Tom with the ball. Chris Tom working the ball in the corner, knocked down, ball sent out of bounds.
He lost his footing, but I feel like they're getting ready to call a foul on Austin O'Brien. Luckily, they did not.
Not much time left in this game. Looks like the Indiana Purdue University Mastodons will probably pull this one out. The ball will be sent in from the corner. Austin O'Brien fighting for that ball and goes out of bounds once again. We are just under the 1 minute mark. You can tell both teams are tired, a little bit of standing around right now.
You can tell the Eagles are so disappointed because they played so hard and so well against such a great team that Indiana Purdue University has.
The Eagles making their last move here. Set up the field, headed by Indiana Purdue University. Eagles are fighting for possession. Just under 30 seconds left.
Freshman Hudson Diener has entered the game for Asbury. He's one I'm
Possession
glad to
goes
see come out tonight.
Asbury Eagles. 15 seconds left on the clock.
I really hate it for Asbury that they weren't able to come back and make that goal.
Looks like the Eagles are worked up on the field over something.
Yeah, it's gotten all the players on the bench off.
The clock has been stopped. There are 8.8 seconds on the clock. Tonight we have seen goals by number 14, Corey Tom. That assist coming from number 10, Mike Inghofer.
Oh, great. Great hit.
4, 3,
Indiana Purdue University looking to send that ball into the goal.
Unfortunately, a heartbreaking loss tonight for the Eagles, but both squad teams are showing great sportsmanship right now.
The Eagles move to 2-3 on the season with this loss.
Their second loss in the row. It's going to be really hard to come back after 2 straight losses to try to pull off another win.
Their next game, they will be on the road. So hoping to see the Eagles bounce back. The Eagles fall 1-0 to Indiana Purdue University. Once again, Corey Tom with 1 goal for Indiana Purdue University. The assist coming from number 10, Mike Inghofer. I'm Kylie Gorby here with Abby Witt, and we are signing off.
Have a great night.